Anybody home? Hello? I had to figure something out to start this thing, right? All right. We'll wait to see when there. Jacob says 5 by 5. Okay. Good evening, all. Happy Saturday night. We made it to another one. So, hope you all had a good day, kept busy. God knows I am going to be one sore puppy in the morning. Lots of planting, lots of concrete work. Oh, God knows everything. So, let's see, what did I do today? I planted corn, sweet potatoes, beets, carrots, squash, watered everything, tilled my biggest garden, poured concrete, fertilized a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it was just like, forget it. I was like, finally about 7:30, I'm like, okay, I need to go in and get something to eat and get cleaned up because I look like living death here about half an hour ago. So, all right. I will make it up to you guys from Tuesday night when I rambled on forever, and we will go very quickly. So, evening to everybody. Evening to my moderators, Jacob, North Shore, Patriot Sandwich Maker, Indiana Preppers in the house tonight. So, we got 4 of you guys. We've still had a little bit of troll issues this week, but it hasn't been too bad. Maybe a few of them watched the video the other day and realized this ain't going to be a good place for them to be. And there's a good point. Where's the hat? There's the hat. Okay, now it's Saturday. You can tell I've been completely out of whack today, just very busy. So, okay. Well, happy Saturday, everybody. I hope if you got a chance, did some garage sailing today. I know I got a couple of emails here. I got maybe about 15 minutes to check, so I sent the letters out that people asked. I got to go back and read some emails and look at pictures and see whatever. But thank you all for sharing me those. I'm glad you guys got out and found some good stuff. So, all right. Let's try to get right into it tonight, into Q&A. As per normal, all right. Put all your questions in caps because that's basically what I'm looking for, caps there. As you all know, I go through from the top down. So if I'm not answering your question immediately or 5-10 minutes, I haven't got that far down the chat, please keep it clean. PG-13 is good. We don't want to have any off-topic conversations. And let's just try to keep the arguments to a minimum in the chat, guys. So, all right. We will get right into it. And we're 2 minutes in. See, I told I make up the 13 minutes or whatever that it burned on Tuesday night. So let's see what we got going on here. Was reading some of the comments earlier. I saw Voodoo Queen went out and did some fishing and got herself a few and cooked them up. So that sounds good. I have yet to get out fishing this year. Hopefully sometime soon, but I'm gonna need one day somewhere just to take a break and go, you know what, I'm just not doing any work in the yard, but I have too much stuff that's got to get done now. Hopefully good fishing season won't be over. It won't be 102 degrees outside by the time I'm ready to do it, but at that point it's too hot to do anything outside anyway. All right, I'm gonna go up to the top, see what we got. And we're going to go into Q&A right quick. So looking for caps. David Williams, they just finished the Sino-COVID shots in this area. I took a friend, not me. There you go. Yeah, took a friend. I mean, I'm assuming you're all seeing this now about taking a friend. You know, Uber is now asking for people to donate the money for rides, you know, because Uber won't donate the money. You need to do that. You know, God forbid they do it. But, you know, again, Treasures in Kentucky. How far am I from Corbin? Well, Corbin, Kentucky. Let's see. Because I don't even know. So I will look it up. And I am 75.5 miles away. How about that? So about an hour and a half. Barb claiming, not in caps, but I just caught it was right below the previous one. Trillions of cicadas are going to be infesting many states. They were supposed to be out the beginning of May, so we haven't seen them yet. So we'll go there. Robert Winslow, anyone having a beer tonight? No, I'm having cranberry wine. So, you know me, the homemade stuff. I got to make some more of this, though. I'm on my last bottle of it. But I've got more Applejack in the kegs right now, so that's what's next. Let's see. Nobody has any questions tonight. I'm just scrolling along. Oh, hey, North Shore, while you're in there, did that package ever show up? Just let me know. Let's see. All right, so obviously I'm behind because Patriot Sandwich Maker saying, where's the hat? So we're there. Karen, hey guys, guess what? Biden still sucks. Yeah, that's the truth. There's a funny meme running around today with Hamas saying, thanks, Joe, we got your money. We sent it all to Israel. It's pictures of missiles going into Israel. That still dumbfounds me that the Biden administration is literally financing terrorism. Figure that one out. Montana Grizz fan, hello from the free state of Montana. Yeah, those are dwindling, and even the ones that are free are seeming to get a little less free. Bradford home, I found a bunch of reclaimed wood. My sister and my sis-in-love, okay, I'm assuming sis-in-law, renovated and gave me all the old wood. Nice, okay, anything that you can find like that right now, big score. I mean, you all know I'm building a smokehouse, and it's all from that free wood that I got last year when I actually put the sill plates down today, so I'm finally getting into the wood because God knows I have the utmost respect for masons because laying brick is a pain in the ass. Let's see. Sarah Kelly, hello from North Georgia. We are getting everybody from everywhere again. Let's see. Whoops. And we shot to the bottom. Hang on, I gotta find where I went. There, okay, there's that one. So, all right. Sunset, money does grow on trees. It's called a garden. Yeah, no kidding. I got a kick out of it. I planted about 260 corn seeds today. So what is it? About 25 by 12, I think it was, patch of corn. I was thinking to myself, okay, I get 250, and each stalk usually gives you 2 ears of corn. That's 500 ears of corn. I'm going, okay, if they're selling them for 69 cents a pop, that's $350. It's like, all right. But, somebody had to bring this one in. Sammy A., what's the best plastic bag to store gasoline in? Did y'all see this? There was some woman who was pumping gas into a plastic bag the other day. I mean, if that is not the stupidest thing I've ever, I mean, what are you going to do with it? I mean, first off, the gas is going to melt the plastic, okay? But second off, you got it in a plastic bag. Great. How are you going to put it in your car? I mean, she's a Democrat. Let's just leave it at that, okay? Because, that's a qualification. You got to be completely stupid to vote Democrat. Patty Bob, good evening all. Greetings from Germany. Hope you're all keeping well. Guten Abend. Well, what is it? You're probably about 6 hours ahead of me, 5 hours ahead of me. So yeah, you're in the middle of the night. Okay. What are you doing up at 3 a.m? Barb Clayman, am I concerned about the cicadas? Yes, and I have tree netting just in case. As soon as I hear them, the tree netting's going on to all my fruit trees. But because they'll attack the younger trees. The other stuff I've got in here probably 50, 60, 100-year-old trees in the yard. They're not fruit trees. But yeah, I'm not worried about those. But my fruit trees, yes, I'm definitely worried about that. And so we bought netting in January when I heard about this. And so it's sitting at the ready in case I need to throw it up. Montana Grizz fan, busy planting potatoes today and, of course, watering the garden. Yeah, the snow is finally off the ground for you. That's a good thing if you're getting some potatoes in because, I mean, yeah, I got mine in, a few weeks ago. But good. Get more in, get going. I mean, if you're in Montana, I mean, hell, close to Idaho, I know potatoes are going to grow up there. Let's see. East Tennessee Preparedness. Do I think the situation in the Middle East is going to escalate? Honestly, I haven't looked at it at all today. I got going at a little after 7 today, and like I said, I stopped at 7:30, so I go take a shower and eat something. But yeah, the Middle East is worrisome. But like I said in the video the other day, when I will get worried is when I hear that Iran is getting involved, and I mean not just supporting Hamas, okay? Because somebody made a comment in there today. Oh, you don't, or not today, but in that video the other day, saying, "Oh, you don't think Iran's involved? Where do you think Hamas is getting all the rockets?" And my response was, my response was pretty simple. I'm like, well, I guess that means the U.S. is involved because guess where Israel gets all their planes? So if Hamas and Israel are at battle for, I don't know, 1,000 years, can't be 60 since Israel became a state, but you know what I mean. But by his logic, I guess we're at war with Iran, even though we don't do anything, and Iran is not doing anything. But by his logic, yeah, just makes no sense to me. But when Iran gets involved, something starts flying over from Tehran, or troops are moving into Palestine or something, then we got some serious problems. Hello, Jess. Let's see. Lorna P., we missed you at Constantine's live today. Yeah, I saw that he was doing one at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And like I said, I have so much freaking work I've got to do this weekend. I mean, I'll be going nonstop tomorrow again as well, as long as my body holds up for it. But I've still got a ton of brick to lay. I've got more stuff that's got to get weeded, watered, whole 9 yards planted. I've still got, there's still 10 more trees that have been sitting on my back patio here for 3 weeks now, waiting to go in the ground. So those have to get done. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff that needs to get done. So I apologize that I wasn't there, but middle of the afternoon was not going to happen today. Gina M., do I anticipate another cyber attack possibly affecting electric? Anticipate no, guarantee yes. Cyber Polygon's coming up. And if y'all don't know what that is, that's the World Economic Forum's deal on this year's test. Okay, not 2019's test was, gee, what would happen if a pandemic happened? And miraculously, 3 months later, we had a pandemic. But Cyber Polygon is, they want to see what happens if the entire supply chain is crashed. Okay, how do you do that? Well, I don't know. You shut down the power, you shut down the gas, you shut down the rivers. I don't know, 2 or 3 this week. Yeah, I can pretty much bet you we're going to see some sort of grid down or rolling blackouts in parts of the country. My guess is July, because that's when Cyber Polygon is going to happen. So yeah, just be prepared for that, because you're going to wake up one morning and there's going to be no power. And it's like, well, this is just a test. This is only a test. You won't have power till Tuesday. They're trying to make life as miserable as possible. And, electric is going to be next. Okay. Montana Grizzman, come to Montana for blue ribbon trout fishing. I'm not a fly fisherman. I never have been. I have never fly fished in my life. I mean, freshwater, saltwater, I've done all that, but I've never fly fished in my life. Freedom Fighter, how strong do you think the CME, coronal mass ejection, that's approaching will really be? I'm not a scientist. I mean, Sure, it's gonna zap something like it has, what was it? The last one hit communication, radios. I think it was in the Himalayas or something like that. It all depends. I really can't give you an answer on that because I'm not a astronomist or anything remotely close to that where I can give you any sort of opinion on that one. Rooster, hey Pinball, how are the peppers doing? Ours are getting a bit yellow. What to do and more rain on the way? Actually, I've got on the ones that survived, I've actually got a few little tiny peppers that are maybe about a ½ inch long. If they're yellow, you are probably light in nitrogen, or too much water. So one of those two things. So maybe they need a little bit of blood meal, and if you got more rain on the way, that's kind of hard to prevent. But maybe back off the watering a little bit. Nunya beeswax, locusts and corn. How do you keep the locusts away or get rid of them? Go into the book that I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago with Jerry Baker's Terrific Tonics. I was actually out spraying my brassicas today with a mix of garlic, squeezed garlic, crushed garlic, Dawn dish soap, and water to get rid of stuff. Look in that book. That would be where I would go to find the answers to that one. I don't know specifically about locusts, though. Never had that problem. Moldy Soldier, any advice in growing onions? I started from seed under lights, but nothing. Yeah, you and me both. I had 4 attempts at onions. I have no onions in the garden. My leeks did great in my pots. My leeks are now in the garden. They're doing great. My onions, I went through like 4 packs of seeds, so probably 2,000 onion seeds, and I had maybe 6 sprouts. I don't know what it is. If last year was just a bad year for onion seeds or whatever, I've never had the problems growing onions. I mean, I do it the same way every year. I've never had problems growing onions. This year, I can't get them to come up. I've got to think that there's an issue with the seeds from last year. That's the only thing I can think of. Purring Lady, what are my thoughts on the Enbridge pipeline situation in Michigan? That's good old Witchmer trying to, how do you want to polish her star in the Democrat Party. She's trying to be as difficult as possible so she can be on the best side of the Biden, Harris, AOC, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, whack job, club. So she's just trying to be a pain in the ass. I'm hoping to God when she comes up for election, Michigan not only says get the hell out of the governor's mansion, but get the hell out of Michigan. For that matter, get the hell out of the United States, because that woman is trouble. And I cannot believe that for a while there was actually talk of her being a vice presidential candidate for Biden, because she's dangerous. She's stupid dangerous. And I mean, those are the most dangerous people, the ones that are stupid. And, she's writing, the next edition of the book on it. Let's see. Craig Dahunter, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it. What ham or satellite system do I recommend? I'm not a big fan. Anybody that's been watching me for a while, I'm not a big fan of ham radio. Doesn't mean, I understand people do it, and I understand the value of it, especially for preppers. It's just not something that I see as useful for my personal situation. Okay. I know a lot of people talk about the Baofeng ham radios, good to start everything, but I'm not going to be the right person to give you any sort of information on ham radio or satellite radio type things, just because it's not something that I use or I have any intention of using, so I haven't done any research on it whatsoever. Teresa, I'm going to make your Applejack. Yeah, I've got a couple of bottles upstairs now that are probably 6 months old. Those should be getting really good. Small family, small budget, hoping to warm up so I can plant my peppers. Yeah, we're finally supposed to get some 80-degree temperatures here this week. Finally, I think we've had a couple of days so far. Usually by now, you know, it's nonstop 80s, and we've had a couple of days, and I mean today I think it hit 78 or 79, something like that. We were close, but it was a nice day to be outside working. But it was 42 degrees this morning when I got started, so there's our temperature swings. See what we got overnight. Northern Girl Hobbies. I think I made the wine too strong. You can't. That's the thing. You put the yeast, you put the sugar in, you put the yeast in, the yeast eats the sugar, and that's what creates the alcohol. Putting more sugar in is going to make it sweeter. Putting more yeast in is not going to do any difference. So what you got is what you got, okay? The only way you're going to make it less strong, I guess, if you will, is if you don't have enough yeast to eat the sugar, and then you're just going to have, a bunch of slush on the bottom, the sugar that wasn't dissolved or whatever. But you can't make it more strong. But again, it's pretty potent. It'd be up 16-18% ABV. So David Williams, beer, oh yeah, and a tequila chaser. I think you got that the other way around. Shots of beer and a glass of tequila, right? Gina M. Menard's website has canning lids. I scored 24 boxes of both regular and wide mouth. Nice. As long as they are not fakes, good deal. Because I know I bought some off of Amazon about 6 months ago, and I got them and they were fakes. And, of course, Amazon's like, well, how do you know they're fakes? I'm like, because Ball doesn't make misspellings on the box. Jay Dixon, have you seen the Dark Horse podcast? I've never even heard of Dark Horse, so no. Okay, thanks, North Shore, for answering that. It's coming. I didn't know that. Teresa says, pinball, Israel blew up the Al Jazeera building. Okay. Yeah, Israel's not playing games anymore. I know that. And I don't blame them. They had it with this crap. I'm sorry, Palestine is not a state. Okay, Hamas is not a legitimate, they're a terrorist organization. They're not a legitimate government. Okay, but ever since Yasser Arafat and the PLO, this has been just a complete train wreck, and Israel just needs to go steamroll everything. And if you don't like that, there's the door. So, Snapping Turtle, what are the plans to have a meetup of like-minded people as we talked on Rumble last fall? Okay, I know I wasn't trying to put anything together. I know for a while, Prepper Now was talking about maybe doing something, and I have never heard anything. I did see last week that Prepper Nurse 1 is putting something together for a meeting, I'm assuming somewhere in New York State. But that's about all I know. And, how that all works, good luck traveling. If you're close, okay, you can drive. But, now with all the planes and hotels and, God knows what, if you can drive, yeah, you can get there. But if you got to fly to some sort of prepper-thon or whatever you want to call it, now you got all those issues just with, the face diaper. Miss T, do I make dandelion wine or dandelion honey? Never tried it. I've never tried to make it, never tasted it, never. I've heard of it, but that's the extent of it. Wine Zipper, did Bill Gates publish his recipe for cicadas? Yeah, okay. Bruce R., how to store fish long term? Freeze them, dry them, salt them, smoke them, Fish is a little, plenty of different ways to do it. Montana Grizz fan. With my potatoes, I added bone meal, vermiculite, and compost. What else should I add? You need some sort of fertilizer with them. In the hole, preferably, underneath the potato. A triple 10 or a triple 13 is good. Y'all know I use trifecta, but good luck getting that. But if you can find a triple 10 or a triple 13, that's what I'd go there. Bone meal is good because that'll give you the potassium. Vermiculite. Compost is good. You might be, I don't know your soil, but you might be okay with just that. I mean, if you got some good rich compost, you might be okay without the fertilizer, but I'd throw some triple 10 or triple 13 in there. D Barber, did I hear about the mosquitoes released in Florida? Are those the ones, I heard something about this maybe a month ago or something like that, some genetically modified mosquito or whatever, I forget, they only release the males or only release the, I mean, they've tried this stuff many times. It never works. They come up with another one, but Singerman Marquette, I found a good supervillain name for Bill Gates, Dr. Dum Dum. Dr. Fauci can be a sidekick. Yeah, you're being polite. I mean, that I can be a lot more foul on Bill Gates. Crap. I hate when it does that. I gotta find where we were again. Do. Oh, come on. Well, I'm now at the top. So if there was something in between where I left off and where I am now, I apologize, it's gone. Small family, small budget. Solar power, I'm looking into a generator, $250 a pop, though. I have a regular generator, but keeping up with the gas might be a problem. And solar power is good, don't get me wrong, but don't forget you need to have the solar panels too, and then the inverters, and unless your generator has an inverter with it. But again, look at what you can run off of that generator. All right, you may be able to run a coffee pot or a hot plate or something like that, but from seeing some of Alaska Preppers reviews on these, you get a full charge in one of these Blue Eddies or whatever, and it'll run your refrigerator for like 6 hours. So you plug it in at 10 o'clock at night when you go to bed, and 4 o'clock in the morning, you got to get up because your refrigerator is now, no longer getting any charge. So take a look at those and see what kind of consumption they're going to suck out too. That's the thing. They're good for, your lights and everything of the sort like that you're going to need. But if you need to run anything big, it's not going to be efficient. Okay. Busted Beak. Hopefully next week I can plant in my raised garden in western South Dakota. I feel sorry for you guys up north. I mean, we're already harvesting peas, and you guys are talking about planting. It's like crap. I got little peppers on my pepper plants, but, was up with my friends the other night, and I mean, they've got broccoli heads in their broccoli already. I don't yet, but I figure those will probably come in a couple of days. Let's see. Northwoods Mama, I hope all is well. Working on making a good homegrown fertilizer. I have alpaca poo and need to know, should I apply it topically or via a root system? Okay, I have no idea on alpaca. Obviously it's got to be composted. But, again, my knowledge is going to be in cow manure and horse manure, and both of those have to be composted, and that takes a while. So you're going to have to find somebody that knows something about alpaca manure, because it ain't me. Okay. Let's see. Sunset, are you considering going to, I'm assuming that's Prepper Fest in upstate New York. I'm guessing that's what you're talking about with Patriot Nurse or Prepper Nurse One. And no, I'm not going up there. Do, do, do. Yeah, Patrice Lindsay says onion seeds only viable for 1 year. I mean, agreed. But when I'm buying the seeds this year, you'd think the store would be putting out fresh seeds, or the website, because I've got them from two different places. Montana Grizz fan, to help your seeds, soak them overnight in hydrogen peroxide. That helps seeds, and I mean all seeds, sprout. Yes, I've heard that. I've never done it. I mean, I soak mine in water, but I've heard about people saying hydrogen peroxide. Patty Bob was watching a video about 2 weeks back on a German channel, and they were talking about Polygon 21 happening around the 9th of July. Yeah. Had to figure out what your cryptic was there. Sunset, thoughts on hundreds of barges stuck waiting in the Mississippi River. I thought I saw this morning that they had figured out some way to get them through, because I guess there was over 1,000 backed up at this point. But I briefly saw something when I was scanning real quick this morning that I think they're letting some of them through, or somehow getting them through. Rooster says it very well could be the seeds. I planted green beans last year 3 times, never full germination, bad seeds. Yeah. The funny part, like I said, I got it from a website and I got it in a store for onions, and no luck to speak of whatsoever. And I've never had problems with them. Robert Winslow, Biden has trouble with pipelines and Hunter has trouble with pipes and lines. Ain't that the truth? Gypsy Soul Sister, what's your take on home business startups now? Good idea. Depends on what it is. There's some that are very lucrative. There's others that, are complete scams, So, if you can find something that's legitimate, or if you're starting the business yourself and get into something that's got a low cost of entry, yeah, great idea. But when you get into some of these that are like, commission sales, and you only need to do this, and you find yourself working for 60 hours a week, and you go, I can get a paycheck. So if you're going to do it, take a look around and see what some reviews are. Look on Glassdoor, look on LinkedIn for what some of the people who work for said company say about it, because there's a lot of companies trying to take fraudulent companies trying to take advantage of this work from home thing, and now people have to go back to work, and they're saying, did you like working from home? Come work for us. You can work from home forever. And the next thing you know is you're doing all the work, they're making all the money, and by the way, here's your starvation fund to keep you from collecting food stamps. Jesus will rise. Hey, cheers. Got Hennessy. There you go. Good cognac. Conserve friends. Longest spring that I've seen in ages. Yeah, no kidding. Isn't it always been? Everybody complains all the time. We go from winter to summer, and this year we go from winter to spring, and summer is nowhere on the horizon. It's like pools are open unless the pool's heated. I don't want to be in a pool. I mean, 40 degrees overnight. It's like, what is the guy out there chipping off the ice in the morning? So, Northern Girl Hobbies. Do you, if you're asking about the wine again, do I need to add the sugar? Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, you're going to have nothing. And go back and take a look at the recipe. But yeah, specifically how much sugar you need for how much wine you're making, and kind of go there. Do. Cat lady homesteading meow. Hey there. Hello. Okay, I'm still looking. Barb claiming can't wait to bite into a fresh tomato. I just can't wait to just have some fresh vegetables, I mean, that aren't store bought. I mean, how many times you go to the store, you take a piece of fruit, and there's no taste to it, anything. And it's like, all right, I want my own stuff, so I'm ready. Okay, you guys are talking about Ed. Do. What are you guys talking about? Canning fish, smoking fish. Okay. Three Corners hat. Do we have gas now? We never had, at least around me, there was never any closed stations. I saw lines, but I never saw a station that didn't have any gas. And we shot up again. Okay. Hang on, I gotta go back in front. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little slow today. I'm tired. You can understand why. Where are we? Okay. Teresa saying Gates and Zuckerberg frequented Epstein's Island along with Hollywood and the DNC. I know Gates did. I didn't know anything about Zuckerberg. And God knows there were enough politicians and actors and stuff like that that did. Dove Jacobs, on our gas genie, we run our whole home. We also have a small solar one too. Okay. I don't know what a gas genie is. David Williams changed their names to Clown World Administration. Biden, main clown, and Harris the buffoon. Yeah. Leona Riley, do I water glass eggs as part of my preps? I don't have chickens, so I can't. And you cannot water glass eggs you buy in the store, so I don't have chickens. Matthew Trucking, yeah, talking about OSB. Yeah. Again, my friend up here who we had dinner with last night was telling me he's, in the home builders industry, and he was talking about the cost of OSB went up 10% between Wednesday and Friday this week. Even the lumber yards that have it, they'll quote the builders a price, and by the time the builders get there to pick it up, it's gone up, and these guys are losing money. Dove Jacobs, we're on our second harvest of strawberries. Y'all make me feel bad because I couldn't get my strawberries to grow seeds this year. So, grumpy old man, does compost get mixed in the soil or keep it on top? You're better off mixing it in the soil as best you can. You can put it on top and let the worms do it, but it's a lot easier to use a shovel, use a tiller or whatever, because you want that compost in there to break up the clay or give some water retention to the sand or whatever would be. So, yeah, if you have any chance of doing it, mix your compost into your soil. And my gardener has trifecta in stock. Okay. I mean, I bought all mine in the fall. So, Northwoods Mama. Hi, Mrs. Pinball. Do you have a favorite dessert? Oh my God. I forget what the name is. There's a cake we found. It was a Pantaleone or something like that, I think it was. And she said, this is like a Russian Easter cake. But no, she loves her donuts and she loves her pastries. And yeah, mostly baked goods. Pick a baked good and she's a fan. Brenda Pelzak, started my seeds in a fish tank with grow lights. Yeah, that works. Probably a little neater too, because if you splash any water or dirt or whatever, it's all in a contained area. So yeah, that works. Never thought of doing that. Northwoods Mama, alpaca manure is cold. Okay. I was just curious about the application method. We can't plant nightshades until the first day of the second week of June. Uh, if it's cold, again, I would treat it like compost, and I would mix it into the soil if possible. Animal preparedness or admiral preparedness. Do I raise small animals? If you consider my 2 dogs, yeah, that'd be it. But as for having any livestock, no, I'm right on the floodplain here for the lake, and so we're not allowed. Let's see. Lady Hammer, anyone else getting swarms of mosquitoes? They're going to carry me off down here. Not mosquitoes. I'm getting flies like crazy. And I mean, I was out working today, and I mean, I'm shooing flies all over the place. Now, I mean, it could have something to do with the fact that I was working in the garden, and my garden's got horse manure in it. But I mean, that horse manure that's in the garden is 9 months old already at this point. So no idea why, but I mean, the flies this year are bad. Sarah Kelly read lots of positive things about moringa trees. Grows fast in edible seeds and pods and leaves. Yeah, moringa's a very good tree to grow. You can grow them in pots too, which is really nice. So if you don't have the property to plant them in, if you're just in an apartment or whatever it is, and you got a deck outside, you can get a moringa tree and plant it in a pot, and you're good. Treasures in Kentucky. The U.S. 25 yard sale is June 3rd through 5th. Runs from Corbin to Richwood. Okay, that's like I said, that's over an hour for me. I'm not going to drive out there for that. Excuse me. Let's see. Riverstorm bought 6 plastic rain barrels for $15 each. Spigots on eBay, $15. Nice. I mean, that's a great price. I'm assuming these are 55 gallon, probably the blue plastic ones or whatever. But for $15 a pop, and if you got 6 of them, that's 330 gallons of water stored. That's a nice start. Now if you can figure out how to run it all, daisy chain them all together, which isn't hard, and do that, then you'd be in good shape. You can just, run a hose or whatever it is. I mean, 330 gallons, you water the garden, not fill a pool, but, plenty of water to wash the car, in good shape there. Lisa Preps, trying grow bags this year to give me extra grow space. If I've ever used them, I'm shocked my address to Joe didn't get you banned. No, I've never used grow bags. I've always planted in either regular beds or raised beds and some pots. I mean, I've got 11 tomatoes, I think, on the back porch there in pots. But grow bags, no, I've never used them. But I can't think it's any different than a pot. I know people just cut open a bag of potting soil and plant right in that too. So that all works. There are many ways to do, what the container is really that, a plant doesn't care. I mean, I've got them out in tomatoes in the backyard and, the buckets that trees came in. Then I've also got them in 5-gallon buckets. I got a Rural King. I just put some holes in the bottom and poof, that's a bucket now, or a pot now. Sasha Time. Yeah, so much for global warming. Exactly. It's like, oh, that's why we're calling it climate change, because it can go up, it can go down, and they won't be wrong. But then again, look at a weatherman. It's the only job in the world where you can be wrong 50% of the time and still have a job. Unless you're Don Lemon, because Don Lemon got canceled by CNN. Because he's wrong more than 50% of the time. All right, back to where I gotta find it again because it keeps shooting up on me here. Whiskey Woman Whisks. Have I used standard mason jars from Uline? I've been looking for pint and half, and they have them. I know who Uline is. I've never bought anything from them. I just find them expensive. But give it a shot. I mean, buy one flat of them or whatever and see if they're any good, and then get some more. Sunset, do I have a winter garden, indoor, outdoor? Now, we grow enough in the summer that I can can it for the winter, store it, freeze it, whatever it would be, and we're good to go there. I mean, again, depending on what you have, some vegetables you can store, other ones you can't. I mean, onions, for example, or, leeks and stuff like that, there's no real way to store them. So, Some you can, some you can't, but try to do whatever we can. We still have plenty of vegetables to eat over the winter. I mean, Easter Sunday, we were eating our sweet potatoes from last year because I've still got sweet potatoes upstairs. Let's see. Susie D. Washington, D.C. was the most affected at 81%. Then Ohio. The pipeline is open. The pipeline is open. Go figure. Are you talking about for the pipeline shutdown? The most affected states were Georgia and North Carolina. I didn't hear anything about Washington, D.C. and Ohio. I know Georgia and North Carolina got bloodied. SOS Jones. So Ohio is having a lottery for the vax, scholarships and $1 million prizes. Not only they seem desperate, how are they tracking the names to enter? That's the scary part, okay? They're going off of the voter registration. So now your vaccine record is attached to your voter registration in Ohio? Think about that one. Boy, I got some sun today, didn't I? Teresa, CIA did the pipeline, bet my life. I don't know, because the thing I heard this morning is Dark Side got hacked themselves, I guess, and so they're shutting the organization down because somebody got into their site and crashed all their hacker programs or whatever. Just interesting. Panettone is an Italian wedding cake. If it kind of tastes like fruit cake, then that's what we found. Yeah, but the name looks pretty close. Constantine was making everybody hungry today talking about Russian desserts. I'll catch the replay when I get a few minutes. Let's see. Susan Andrews, Grandma used hot wax to seal canning jars. Okay or not? I'm not the person to ask that one. I mean, that one I never heard of, but then again, I'm a canning amateur. So, go ask Lisa at Sutton's Days or Wanda at Crazy Days, or I think Jess is in here. Jess may be able to answer that one. But, canning questions, not this guy. I'm the one that asks you guys canning questions. And I'm not going to answer them. Hoosier proud. I used to stack silver, but changed to lumber. Yeah, might not be a bad idea. Hurley, wrap a fly strip around your hat. Seen that on a homestead. Not this hat. I can see it. You got some crappy old ball cap or whatever. Montana Grizz fan, to prevent mosquitoes, add 1 cup of apple cider to a gallon of water and drink it. This is from an old Civil War trick first used by units from Iowa. Why would diluted apple cider prevent mosquitoes? Okay. Have to check that out. Chief Jim, bat houses for mosquito control. That's probably why we don't have mosquitoes too bad, because I'll sit out on the porch in the evening and I can watch the bats fly around. And every once in a while, they'll zip right past my face. They'll come right up to you. Obviously, I'm not trying to do anything with them because who knows how, rabies or whatever. But yeah, we can sit and watch the bats fly around. North Shore, Alaska Prepper did a grow bag video today. There you go. Foggy Mountain Man, have I eaten Russian Medovik honey cake? Have I? No. Mrs. P says no, but it's delicious. Let's see. Prepper Mama, can you throw down cardboard over weeds and throw dirt on top of it for a raised garden bed? Yes. The cardboard will eventually break down, but the whole point of the cardboard is to smother the weeds. And there's, many things. The reason cardboard works is because it does decompose and you can put your dirt right out on top of it and go for it. Other people use, sheets of plywood. So not now because of the cost of plywood. Black plastic works, whatever it would be. But none of those are going to decompose. Plywood will eventually. But yeah, cardboard is very good. I mean, it's free. I mean, anybody gets stuff from Amazon, you got tons of cardboard sitting around the house. And it will decompose and actually add more nutrients to the soil. It's a carbon source. So, yeah, definitely a good way to do it. Okay, and rolling up again. Do. Sorry, I gotta find this. Okay, found it. Yeah, it was quick this time. Rooster says grow bags are excellent. They let the root system breathe. Okay, makes sense to me. Let's see. A new beginning, no vax, no vote. That would be interesting. So they're going to rewrite the Constitution to do that, huh? Dagmar King says you can dehydrate leeks. Okay, never tried that. But I don't see why you couldn't. They're just like a milder onion. Pastor or reality, what's going to be the next disaster to affect the supply chain? Was this like the old over-under questions? Let's see, could it be an earthquake? That would make sense. It ain't going to be a heat wave, that's for sure. At least not now. Let's see. I'll bet on earthquake. That would be my only thing I can come up with. Deborah Hardesty asking North Shore if elderberries like full sun. Mine are in partial shade and they're growing like crazy this year. So they're liking the cooler weather and everything. But yeah, they don't have to have full sun. Green Smoothie Queen, we're embarrassed by our governor in Ohio. He made us a laughingstock. Hey, don't feel bad. The rest of us are embarrassed by our president. He made us a laughingstock. Okay, a couple of you guys answering the wax question there. But I guess only to seal jelly. Okay. Excuse me. And gender studies in Pakistan. Yeah, right. DNC centered that for nefarious purposes. Of course they did. It's like, okay, who's going to slide over $1 so that person can slide back 50 cents? That's it. Our tax money gets turned into a bribe and a kickback. That's basically how it works. Scarlet Brimstone, check industrial parks for pallet wood. Most companies just throw it away. Yeah, I mean, there's literally videos online. If somebody's out of work, if you live in a city or something like that, there's videos online where these guys are making six figures, picking up pallets from one company that they're just going to throw out, so they get them for free, and taking them to another company who needs pallets and selling them. And there's one guy I remember watching. He literally took the pallets 2 blocks and made like $600. Loaded all the pallets on his truck that he got for free, took them 2 blocks away to another business who needed pallets, sold all the pallets, and got like $650. Me, I use them when I need something to build and I want that rustic look to it. I'll take them apart and build something. Cabinets or planters or whatever. I mean, I see these videos online that I think are so cool. People building little cabins out of them, hunting cabins and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's just wood. I mean, this is it. So, but yeah, I mean, find the pallets. Most of the places you can get them for free. Just make sure that you're looking at that they're heat treated and not chemically treated. The heat treated ones are the ones you want. Some stores in Ohio said they are continuing the mask mandate even when the governor releases it. Kroger, Starbucks, Target, Ulta. Well, good. Kroger, Starbucks, Target, Ulta. I'll take my business somewhere else. I kind of find it funny that Kroger says that because the Kroger down here I never wear a mask when I go in there. Nobody's ever said a word to me. Let's see. Robert Winslow, Mrs. P, will you show us how to make that Russian cake? She didn't make it. We bought it. So, yeah. And then there's a whole bunch of Hi, Mrs. Pinballs. And then, of course, it's shot to the bottom. Teresa, I bet they'll take away VA benefits, disability, Medicaid unless people get the vax. I don't see that happening. I think there's too many people on both sides of Congress that realize that's a recipe for disaster. When you start taking away people's medical benefits, especially guys who are missing a leg or missing an eye or something because of the combat injury they had, and now the government's going to say, gee, you know what? We're not going to support you anymore. So I don't see that one happening. That would be political suicide to me. Holy crap, it's 5 to 10. Lady Hammer says, I built my raised beds with pallet boards. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things you can make out of pallets. I mean, it's just amazing. Singerman Marquette, local landfills sometimes have inexpensive compost for sale. I found some locally for $25 a ton, literally dirt cheap for the gardening folks. Yeah, the only thing you got to check with it, though, is I bought some 20 years ago from the land. No, I guess it would be the landfill when I was living up in Indiana. And it wasn't composted well enough because it was full of weed seeds. And I had the load dumped on my driveway, and within a couple of days, I had all sorts of weeds growing up in its compost pile. And so I had to kill all the weeds off before I could use it, and they just kept coming and coming and coming. You know, I eventually used it, but it took me a good month to kill all the weeds off before I could use it. Really drives me nuts. This thing shoots up. Okay. Brenda Pelzak, bury clean, empty tin cans around your garden to boost the soil and plant during storms. I don't understand. How would an empty tin can boost my soil? Yeah, you'd have to explain that one some more. I mean, just the aluminum or the tin in the can is not going to do anything for the soil. Sunshine Bee, every time we mow, it goes in the garden. Great for adding some nitrogen. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, grass clippings are probably some of the easiest, quickest things you can throw in a compost pile to get your greens. Northern Girl says, did my shopping the other day at the grocery store, no mask in Ontario. Yeah, good. Then just keep shooting. Rooster says, went to a Casey's today, sign on the door, everyone must wear mask. Walked in, nobody in masks, not even store employees. Yeah, I see that sign all over the place. It's like nobody's wearing a mask, and I'm not going to. Nobody's ever said anything to me. Every store I've gone into, nobody's ever said a word. Sir, could you put on a mask? Nope, never heard it. You can ask, and I'd say no, but nobody's even asked. Yeah, Lori Seltzer. I hear Biden say no comment about paying the ransom on the pipeline. It wouldn't surprise me that if the ransom was paid, the $5 million, it was paid for by the government. Busted Beak, our compost had too much weed killer in it. Yeah, if it had Grazon in it, in manures and compost or anything like that. If anybody used Grazon or any of those chemicals, you're toast. I mean, that stuff, the horses, the cows eat the stuff, and the Grazon, it still exists coming out in the manure. So, the only way to get rid of that from your garden is either activated charcoal, which is very expensive, or planting a crop like sunflowers or corn or something, a monocot, that will suck it all out for you. So, all right, one more question here. Let's see what we got. Maybe they don't tell you. I'll tell you to put a mask because you're 6'8". Could be. I probably intimidate people. Teresa, only Walmart has, and I say quite loudly, it's not a law. Now they don't ask. So, Sheila says, or I'm sorry, Kevin says, tin cans and garden put iron in the soil. Okay, well, it'd have to be steel then because there's no iron in aluminum. So they have to be steel cans. All right, guys, it is 10 o'clock. It is time for me to go turn into a pumpkin and go from there. So thank you all for stopping by tonight. Appreciate the company. Have a good evening, and we will see you all in the morning. Pinball out.